This is Lorena Mora-Mowry. We're celebrating the Hispanic Heritage Month. This is the best opportunity to highlight the success of the Latinos throughout Ohio. With us, we have Jasmin Santana. She's a Cleveland City Council. She's a member representing Ward 14, and she's the first Latina member and serves as the majority whip. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Welcome, Jasmin. Thank you for cannot wait to hear your story.
Thank you, Lorena. Thank you for running this series. I've been able to see other powerful Latinas in our city. So thank you for doing this in lieu of Hispanic Heritage Month.
I believe that we are leader because someone, abuelita, or did you see something there that you have to say, if nobody's doing it, I'm going to do it. Tell me about your upbringing and how that background is helping us to what you are becoming today.
Yes, definitely. So my whole foundation is my mother, single mom. She grew up in Puerto Rico, and they brought her here at an early age. They took her out of school at about fourth grade. So my mom, doesn't have her degree or anything like that. But I would tell you, my mom is so smart. She is so full of wisdom. And so they brought her here to Cleveland, Ohio, probably in the early 60s. And she was here. But my mom instilled in me how to serve others, how to be selfless, how to work to improve your surroundings, the world that you live in. My mom was never negative. She was always very positive, always very loving. My mom was the type that she would have like a little lechon, right? Or she would cook it and she would be like, hey, I invited a few people over, and then our house will be filled with people eating just out of this little lechoncito. That was my mom. They used to call her the Casa Alma. And that's what I grew up witnessing and experiencing. And that's where I learned a lot of my challenges, right? Like when families come here from Puerto Rico or any other Central American countries, they don't speak the language. They don't know how to navigate our city, right? They don't know how to navigate the resources. I grew up witnessing that. And what I realized is the injustice that existed out there, and the services that were lacking to serve the Latino family. So all of this that I am now really just came out of that foundation that my mom instilled in me and what I witnessed and experiencing growing up.
To become a politician, it takes a lot of, I believe, courage, but also preparation. So tell us about your work and why you are so passionate to be the voice of the people, and explain to us a little bit about the Ward 14, because we are not in Cleveland.
Sí, por seguro. So I represent Ward 14, which is 5 different neighborhoods, right? So it's like Clark-Fulton, which has the highest population of Latinos. We have Stockyards neighborhood, Tremont North area. We have a little bit of West Boulevard and Old Brooklyn Center. So these are 5 neighborhoods that I represent on the near west side. So for people that are not here, I know that they always recognize Metro Health Hospital. That is an organization, a healthcare institution that is in the ward that I serve, right? I'm near West Side, very close to downtown, less than 3 miles from City of Cleveland downtown area. So that's the neighborhood I represent. I moved into that neighborhood probably about the age of, 14. The neighborhood that I grew up in was a neighborhood very similar to Ward 14, muchos Latinos, and when they started investing, a lot of Latinos, they're rented, right? They didn't have the opportunity to purchase their own home. So we had to move. A lot of the property owners sold their house. And so we end up moving and migrating to Ward 14 area, which was a very close neighborhood. And this is how there's such a huge population here in Cleveland, not only from Detroit Shoreway or that area, but, from Lorain and other surrounding counties. But nonetheless, I grew up here, age of 14, and was very involved in the community, was very involved with Latino families. And once again, after decades after, I still realized that there was so many inequities that exist in the Latino community. We weren't being serviced. We weren't being informed with the resources. And there was a lot of resources out there, but we weren't connecting with families. So I ended up going to Washington one day, and I remember Marcia Fudge. At that time, I was struggling with, I have to do something to be a change that I want to see. And, while I was making a difference at a micro level, one family at a time. I wanted to do systematic change that really impacted Ward 14 and Latino families. And so I went to Washington. I saw Marcia Fudge, Congresswoman Marcia Fudge, and she was sharing her story, which was very similar to my upbringing. And she said, you want to make a difference, you have to have a seat at the table. You have to run. And for me, it was like God speaking to me, right? Like a message. And it was just like, this is it. I need to run to make the difference in our neighborhood, right? And so I either had to move. I had 2 kids at that time, and move into a suburb, which I probably would not have liked, or show my kids that you could be the change and you don't have to move elsewhere to make a difference and have the amenities that other communities have. So I decided to run, and here I am, 7 years, is going on 8 years. I was elected in 2017. And I finally found my way. A lot of people ask, like, is this something you always wanted to do? And no, Lorena, te puedo decir que nunca imaginé que yo estuviera en esta posición. Nunca. Te puedo decir que mi papá, que no me crió, corrió para concejal. He ran for council person when I was born, 1979. And I found that out when I was in the campaign trail. So
it's in your blood.
Yeah, so definitely I realized afterwards, okay, this is a calling, it's a purpose from God. And, here I am. And I will tell you, it's been challenging, but it's also been rewarding, right? Like politics is hard. It's not easy. And, but I've been able to, do the oversight of city budget to ensure that Latinos are included in any decision that takes place at the city of Cleveland. I've been able to drive community and economic development to our neighborhoods. I mean, what you're seeing in Ward 14, historically, we've never seen in Ward 14. I'm talking about parks being renovated, affordable apartment units, new construction housing, infrastructure. We got Centro Villa 25, which I got to give her a shout out, Janice. And finally, this is a project that's been in the pipeline for many years, and I don't know if you know about it, but Centro Villa 25, if you come down here and you see it, you feel like you're in Puerto Rico. And the colors are vibrant. And to have so many Latino businesses, owners having the opportunity to be together and sell their goods to our community. I mean, it's just been so surreal. Lorena, I could talk and talk, but
you have
pause.
Well, this is the opportunity. I think I see you, and I think this story is to be continued. Maybe you can be running for something else, or maybe what is your plan? Do you think that will be in the future, though, or you will be being at the Ward 14 council?
Yeah, you know what? It's a question I struggle with, all the time. I will tell you, my job is not done here. And I still have a lot more to do. There's a certain project that's in the pipeline for a certain neighborhood that I'm really excited about. So definitely running again. Hopefully, I get that opportunity.
When are you running again?
It's next year. Yes, next year already. We're a 4-year term, so next year it's already re-election.
I know that you're not going to leave things unfinished. You gave the word. I know that when we give the word, we complete things. But tell me about you, because you say you heard a congresswoman in that time, you have to do something. Tell me about what you have learned about you that you didn't know, and now that you can share with us.
Yeah. What I learned about myself is that I always had the vision for our community instilled in me. Like I always had it here, right? People often say, wow, you're a natural, right? And I don't take that, you're not natural politician, but you're a natural in transforming communities, right? And it all starts once again by, first of all, understanding the challenges that our families face, right? Like I know firsthand what Latinos face. Second is listening, being on the ground, very grassroots, listening to residents every day talk about their needs, their desires, their challenges, and having vision. I'm a very visionary type of individual. And so I sit back in my office, I reflect, I meditate, and I draw out what a plan looks like for our neighborhood that is going to impact everyone. And you know, it's so basic, right? It's education, it's housing, it's safety, it's health, you
It's
know, for
just to have
all.
the budget to do all the stuff. It's just you have to fight to have the budget. You have to see their needs.
Yeah.
Do you think that you, as a leader in the community, you are inspiring Latinos? They see you, so maybe you're building the road, or you're creating the road for them to become a councilman or councilwoman?
Yeah. So it's funny because once again, yo me crié, you know, humility was like the number one word in my household, right? So I try not to really think about where I'm at, who I am, who I'm inspiring, although it's so important, right? I just do what I need to do. But I will tell you, I have students from college reaching out, and there's, you know, their comments to me, you inspire me. I want to be like you. Can you mentor me? That really is what gives me the fuel every day to continue through the good and the bad. And so I've had about 4 or 5 interns in my office who have moved on to do great things. But they always leave my office like, wow, my life has changed just looking at your work, looking how, you know, you do things, learning about the community. So it's great that I inspire people. I love to listen to that. And I hope that I do inspire more young Latinos to run. You know, I think there's maybe 3 Latinos in across our state that are elected officials, 3, maybe 4. I don't know, Lorena. You would probably know that more. But in Cleveland or in the county, I am the only elected official. We have a judge, Jasmine Torres Lugo. But as far as council member in the county, it's only me. So I don't end up just serving Ward 14 Latinos. We have Latinos all across our county. And as you look at the map, we're growing. We're the fastest growing population. So I have people from other counties. When they think of government help, they think of La Concejal Jasmin Santana, La Oficina. And so they're calling me for housing, and they're calling me for resources, or how to just be connected with school. And I can't turn my back on them, right? And so um, it's a lot of work. The need is great. So we definitely need more Latinos in these spaces. But we have community leaders that always step up, and I couldn't do this work without our partners and our community leaders that are out there helping me. And so I'm
We,
feeling hopeful.
Councilwoman, have the opportunity to interview Latinas during the Hispanic Heritage Month, and I have seen the leadership. There's one in Canton that she wants to run up for mayor. So we are making the difference with our leadership that we don't see because we're humble.
Yeah.
We are very humble, but
Mhm.
this is the best opportunity to highlight that you're a leader in Ohio, and you are inspiring us all. I was going to ask you for advice for the Latinos. You are giving me many advices, but your leadership, how you define your leadership.
Yeah. First of all, I will tell you, leadership is not easy, right? So if you think you're going to get in a leadership role and everything's just going to be, you know, all nice and pink, like my mom would say, Rosita, it's not going to happen. Leadership is hard, right? Real leadership is making decisions that maybe not everyone's going to agree with, right? But you know it's going to impact the majority of the people. So that's one thing that I would say, because people, you know, social media always makes um, this role look easy, right? Like you could post all the good, but they don't know what's happening behind the scenes. So that's one thing. It's not easy. You cannot give up. You got to continue. You have to stay so focused on that vision every day. You have to look at it. I'm really big on vision boards. So if you have to look at that vision board every day to remind you,
A to-do
what is that?
list.
Yes. Oh my God. Every day I got my journal. I got my vision board. Every day I'm reminded. In my office, I have pictures of what I want to see in the neighborhood. And every day, no matter what happens to me, I stay focused, or try, because there's some days where, you know, it's not as easy. I try to stay focused on that vision, that overall vision for the neighborhood. But you know what? Bottom line, it's simple. You know, you have a servant heart. Keep helping others. Stay engaged in your community. Don't wait till you decide to run, or, you know, wanting to do some leadership. roles for you to get engaged in your neighborhood. Start getting engaged right now. Start attending meetings. Always lead by example. Be honest. People love honest people. You have to be honest, even though people don't want to hear what they want, what you have to say, but you have to be honest, and you got to live your values. And I believe that all these values will lead you to where you're meant to be.
I'm inspired. So I hope that the people that listen to this video and podcast, because it will be a video and podcast, can be as inspired as I am. Something else, Jasmine, that you would like to share? And please, this is anytime that you need me to do a video, I can do it, because I really believe juntas somos más fuertes.
Yes.
I have done for 18 years. So please count on this humble media to connect with everyone and continue to inspire us. Something else that you would like to share?
Just on your point that you mentioned right now, I've always been, just maybe because I grew up with a single mom, I've always been a huge fan of supporting women. I always said women supporting each other is so strong and powerful. We know that, right? It's like if you help change a woman, spiritually, physically, mentally, whatever, her household would change, her community change, the nation will change if a woman's healthy and is supported. And so that's what I strive to do. And then I hope all the women that you interviewed today, and every woman that's seeing this, I hope that you get on board to kind of support whatever woman is in your environment and your place that is doing work, because I promise you're going to see such a transformation and such a difference when you're in that room supporting that woman.
Thank you, Jasmine, for sharing your stories to inspire us, and happy Heritage Month 2024.
Thank you, Lorena. Muchas gracias.